Welcome to the Elements of Spirit reading for the element of Earth for the week of April 17th, 2017. This reading applies to the sun signs of Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. And if you haven't listened to the ether reading, please go back and check it out now. Otherwise, here we go with the element of Earth. So, just giving you full disclosure, I see a head of a human being with their eyes nice and open, even with their third eye nice and open. You see you're blinded by the magnitude of your projected future. Wow, cool. So there's this like beautiful being, beautiful earthy being with their eyes and with their third eye nice and round and open. But there's this cloud all in front. And the message here says, you see clearly enough, but you're blinded by the magnitude of your projected future. So the idea here, Earth element, is that you see clearly. You see outside of you, you see inside of you. You know, usually Earth element is all too aware of the circumstantial reality, sometimes to a fault. Like you become so preoccupied with how things seem to be that you decide that that's how they are and nobody can convince you. You can become kind of immobile and immovable. But in this case, it's like, no, you got a pretty good handle on the circumstances. And you even have that open third eye, which says, and you see the brighter truth. You've integrated the inner truth with the outer truth. And yet there's still this sense of like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where I'm going. As we go back to the ether reading, I am stable, I am buoyant, I am witnessing the rising tides. As you're witnessing the rising tides of change, there's still this belief that it feels like this is the majority of your reality, and that you're like, I can't see, I don't know, where do I go, what do I do, I can't plot the course, I don't know which way, what do I do, what do I do, what do I do, what do I do? And what this is saying is it's saying that you're actually being blinded by the magnitude of your projected future. It feels like you're looking, it's like you're trying to plot a course. Instead of using the North Star, you're like using the sun. And so you're always sailing west, always looking at the brightest spot in the sky, and therefore kind of going blind, kind of unable to see clearly. The idea here is that you're going for either, now again, grain of salt here, but this is what's coming through, too big a goal, which I don't really believe. Like, go for the big goal if you want to go for the big goal, but too big a goal, or more likely, all the goals at once. And that's why it's the projected future. This is also teaching about the third eye, which is that like the third eye receives clairvoyant impressions, and that's the sort of receptive aspect of the third eye. But the third eye is also responsible for projecting visualizations, and for actually projecting an image, holding focus on that image, and letting that be the sort of perfectly projected thought, future, which holds the harmonic along which all of your other manifestations align, and coalesce, and ultimately appear. So there is a useful aspect of holding on to that image of your projected future. But I like to think of it as more so something that you spend some time thinking on, focusing on, visualizing on, but that then you let go. And then you return and you course correct. So it's like, rather than feeling like it's got to be this way, 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 it's got to be this way for like 10 years, it's like I would rather spend 10 minutes in the morning crystal clear visualizing the desired projected outcome that I so desire, and then frickin' forgetting about it. Letting it go, washing it away, and literally going about my daily life. And that would be like, okay, I look to the sun is to the west, but I plot my course to the north. relative to the sun. And I only have to look to the sun once to know where it is. And then I plot my course to the north to go in the direction that I'm heading. And the idea here is that when you do that, you're not blinded by the sun. You're using it as a point of orientation. You have your projected magnificent goal of the future, but as you plot your course, you take it one breath at a time, one step at a time, one wave at a time. You know, it's like you don't have to constantly be focusing, obsessing on your desired projected outcome, because what you end up doing then is you leave little room for adaptation. And the way that I like to say it is, if there's no option for a totally potentially different outcome, how can you surprise yourself? How can you possibly make things be bigger and better than ever? So what's cool is that it's not that you guys have to stop focusing on your most magnificent desired projected outcome. It's just like, spend your time focusing on that, then let it go and do the next thing that's in front of you. But do it. Do it. If you can't see because you're looking at the sun, close and looking too far off into the distance at the sun, close your eyes, let them balance, and just look down at your feet and focus on taking the next step, doing the first good work, so that you can then follow it with good work after good work after good work after good work, as opposed to thinking, I will only be satisfied, reality, my vessel will only really be stable and buoyant and secure in the midst of these rising tides of change, when I have taken all of the steps and done all of the good work, and when that perfectly imagined vision of my future is perfectly manifested and projected. It's like exhausting, stressful. Why not focus on it, charge that vision with so much mojo and energy, and then just take the next best step. Love it. You guys that have been following this for a while know that I tend to like second guess some of the affirmations when they come through. Almost did that, tried to edit it here, but here it is in its simplest and sweetest form. I release the outcome and embrace the next step. I release the outcome and embrace the next step. I release the outcome and embrace the next step. That's it. Next step. Embrace it. Along with the ether affirmation. Very cool. I am buoyant. I am stable. I witness the rising tides of change. I release the outcome and embrace the next step. Sounds like a formula for walking on water. Sounds like a formula for staying buoyant and maintaining agency over exactly the direction that you want to go in, manifesting that projected outcome. But instead of lying back in your boat and being like, I'm blind, I can't see, I don't know where to go, close your eyes, chill, affirm, I am buoyant, I am stable, I'm witnessing the rising tides of change, and then allow yourself to back off from making everything happen all at once and being so fucking perfect by affirming, I release the outcome and embrace the next step. Period. All my love. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week.